All right, there we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the studio. Happy Monday. It's good to chat with you. I've got some notes to go over. We're going to talk about everything the kids are learning in class this week, what our goals are for the week, what's coming up, housekeeping stuff, and all the dates. You ready? All right, so first things kind of in the intro, let's make sure everybody knows it's the 4th week of January, and we have some of our classes who don't have class this week. I really emphasize this. We're going to try to send reminder emails as well to the classes that are affected, but listen up. If you are in creative explorations class on Wednesday at Plattwoods or Friday in Liberty, this is an off week for you guys. So no creative exploration classes. We'll see you the following week for the start of February classes. Okay. If you are in preschool fundamentals in Liberty on Thursday or on Friday, you guys are also off this week. These classes are a 3-time-a-month class, which means we always have at least one off day in the month, just because months usually have 4 days, right? 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, that kind of thing. So these happen to be some of our off days. Monday and Tuesday preschool classes are still meeting, but Thursday and Friday are done for the month. And so we will see you guys next week for February. All right, I think that's it. Let's go through everybody. So each one of the classes, as a reminder, if you're catching the replay of this video, you can watch the timestamps and just watch the section that has to do with your kiddo's class. Here we go. All right, so to the preschool classes, this is a wonderful picture of a flashlight. And actually, I just got a whole bunch of text pictures from Miss Jackie. They are doing this book right now at Plattwoods. And so I'll get those up on Instagram stories as soon as I finish here so you guys can see the behind the scenes of this book. Such a neat book by Lizzie Boyd about a little boy who goes out into the woods with a flashlight and the types of things that they discover. And the whole story is told through pictures. There are no words in the book. It's such a cool book. We did some art by flashlight and we did some shadow tracing, also played with black and white paint. So this is the last class for January's light and dark month. Next month, we're going to move on to February, which is all about the person, the figure, the portrait, the human body. So we'll be making a lot of figure art in February's classes. So Monday and Tuesday classes are reading Flashlight by Lizzie Boyd. Thursday and Friday classes, you guys are done because you did this class last week. So you are done for the month of January. Multimedia classes. So I brought some examples to show you. I did not bring the giant ones. So my K-3 people have been working on these big poster size acrylic paintings. They're so cool. I hope you've seen some of the behind the scenes on Instagram stories. Or there's some posts on Instagram and Facebook that don't expire. But in terms of the volume of photographs that my amazing instructors send to me every day, it's easier just to put them on stories and so you can kind of see what's going on in your kids' classes. So this is one from Plattwoods. In the first week we did the background, and the second week we added organic and geometric shapes. And the third week we talked about marks and texture and lines, and we added those. So that's what's going on here. And in the last week, you can see it's got a blue tape border going around the picture. In the last week, we're going to take that border off, leaves a nice clean white edge. Since these are big enough, we can't get them in a mat. So that's our mat. And then the kids will add with teeny tiny brushes some black and white detailing. So these will go home this week. Now, if you missed one of the classes in January and you missed one of those steps, you can always do a makeup to finish up your picture. Now, if you missed one of the classes in January and you didn't miss a step because you came in and the instructor in one class said you are doing marks and geometric shapes today, and we kind of squished everything together and got it done, then you don't need a makeup. So if you take your project home this week and your artist brings it home and is happy with it, even if you missed a January class, you don't have a makeup to do. Now, if your artist brings their painting home and they're like, I really wish I could add this or this and this and this and this, like they have a vision and something they want to add to their picture, regardless of whether they missed a class, they can sign up for time in the studio. So you just go to that link. It's orangeeaselart.com/makeups, and you make a reservation in Liberty. That happens on Wednesday nights. In Plattwoods, that happens on Friday nights. And you can sign up, bring your painting back, and we'll give you the studio time, the materials to get it the way you want it. Okay. Now, if your kid doesn't take their painting home, but there's something there, that means they're not done or they forgot it. So ask them, are you done with your painting? do you still have more work to do on it? And then that way we can get you scheduled in for a makeup to get that finished, or we can try to remember to give it to you the next week. Okay. So just so you know, that's what's going on. It's the first month of the semester. So if you're new to multimedia classes, we will always take projects home in the last week of the month. We'll send them home with you if they are done. If they are not done, we hold them, and that way you've got we've got it here for you when you sign up for a makeup session. If you don't finish and you come to classes next week, we are starting printmaking. Like, there will be no acrylic paints out. If your artist comes in and is like, I want to finish my painting, your instructor is going to say, awesome, sign up for a makeup lesson, because we have moved on. We are into printmaking. Okay. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. If anybody ever has any questions about that, reach out to me, and I will reach out to the instructor, and we'll make a connection and figure out where we're at in the project and like what still needs to be done. Okay. All right. Fourth and fifth grade, I did bring a couple examples, so I'm going to show you those. Let me unearth my stack here. It is pet and animal portraits. So I've grabbed a few out of the closet. Actually, the first one I grabbed is the one from the picture, and I wanted to show you how amazing these brush strokes are, as well as kind of the shadow that's happening over here. Notice it is not a gray shadow. I love that. This artist did it in greens and blues and purples, which is a nice cool, but it's still a tint because it's a white cap. So lots of great stuff happening here. It looks so furry and fluffy. Here's another really amazing one. Look at that. So a lot of our artists are through the blocking in stage. Like, they've pretty much got paint everywhere on their canvas, right? Like, there's no bare canvas showing through. So the next step is really just the detail work. So we're adding in those shadows and those highlights, and then the details like the eyes and the nose and the little whiskers and the fur, right? All those tiny brushes. Here's another one for an artist. Blocking stuff in. So good stuff happening in our pet and animal portraits class. You know, I talked to the staff during the meeting on Friday, and one of the things I told them is how proud and just pleased as punch that I am of the scale of these. These artists have done a really great job of getting the balance between the background and the subject. Like, they nailed it, right? The positive and the negative space, nailed it. Like, we don't have teeny tiny little portraits on an 11 by 14-inch canvas. So that's tricky, because we can instruct that and we can say that and we can talk about it and we can teach it. But when it comes to execution, sometimes it doesn't happen. Like, we miss the mark. And that's how we learn. The instructor never goes in and says, wait, let me draw that for you. We're going to give feedback. But we don't do it for them. And so this is all your kids, you guys. So good. All right, I'm gonna put those down there. Our goal on those pet portraits, animal portraits, is to finish them this week. Again, depending on how far your kid is along, or how much detail they want to put, or whether or not they paint that eye and they nail it the first time, or they struggle with it, they may need more time, even if they didn't miss a class. This is the lesson this month that forever in our curriculum will need more time for some artists, and that is okay. There's no rule that says you have to finish your pet portrait in 4 hours. You know, like, everybody works at a different pace. So if you need more time, that's what that makeup time is for. Now, that said, I did tell the entire team, I said, if you teach this class and your kiddo in that class is like so close to finishing, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then they're going to be done. Like, class has ended, but if they just had 10 more minutes, they could be finished. I told the teachers, I was like, if it works for you and it works for the kid, to ask you guys, the parents, to just go out to the lobby and be like, can you give us 10 more minutes? And they can work into that next class if it works for you and it works for your student and it works for us. And that saves you a trip coming back to the studio for 10 minutes worth of work. Right. So anyways, so just know that might happen on some of these. Now, if there's another hour's worth of work on it, we probably wouldn't do that. But if it's just a few more minutes, that could happen this week. So your kids should take these home. If they don't, ask them why. Maybe they didn't quite finish. They need some more studio time. Again, starting next week, we start printmaking. So when they come in, these paintings and the acrylic paints and the brushes, and it will not be out. They will need to sign up for an additional time to come in and do that. Okay. Now, like I said, we have those makeup times on Wednesdays in Liberty or on Fridays in Flatwoods for you to like finish up those projects, because we can't do it during class time because we have to move on to printmaking. But if those times don't work, I know some of you drive from Lee Summit or Blue Springs or even Kearney, and you're like, I don't want to come in a second night out of the week, Allison. Life is busy. Totally get it. You can reach out to us and we will work with you to find out time. Maybe it's coming in the hour before your class, and the administrator or support staff who is here working the front desk can get you set up somewhere so that you can work, right? So that way you just double up kind of your class period next month. It works really well for finishing projects because usually there's not a lot of like instruction talking that has to happen. It just is work time. So if that needs to happen, you can reach out to me and just send me a message, and we handle that on a case-by-case basis based on your schedule and our schedule and all the things. Drink some coffee. Take a breath, Allison. Sixth, 7th, 8th, 12th. Guys, these are so fun. All right, I tried to grab some ones that don't have a lot of green in them because of the green screen going on back here, but look at how great these are. So they're really shiny because I've got lights, of course, but then the acrylic paint is high gloss, and then magazines are high gloss too. So they gotta get them just right so you can kind of see all the details that are happening in here. But you'll notice that some of this is printed. It's an image that was found and discovered in a magazine, and some of it is painted on top of. So we're altering what's happening here. Here's another really great one. I showed this one last time. I love how like creative they are. This one has some green in it, so I'm going to kind of turn it on the there. Hide the green, get a glare instead. So great. All right, and then here's another one. I love this one. Can you see like the water and the boats? That's a photograph, and then the stuff above it, this kind of like space scene is painted. So these guys will hopefully finish up theirs this week. Again, I mean, depending on how intricate they're getting and how quickly they work, if they need more time, same rules apply that we talked about with the 4th and 5th. Feel free to make a reservation to come in for makeups for more time, or reach out to us and see if you can like come in a little early or stay a little late. Now, if you're in the 8th, 12th class and you're ending at 9 p.m., we're probably not going to stay late because we all want to go to bed. But that doesn't mean that then next week you can't come in 20 minutes early and, knock it out. All right, let's talk about those creative explorations. As we talked about in the intro, this is an off week for the Wednesday class and the Friday class. So if you come to creative explorations, don't come this week. Doors will be locked. Nobody will be here. I don't think, anyway. Probably not. So, yeah. That's all the notes for that one, I guess. Drawing 101. I think that's all the notes. I guess I should double check. Yeah, that's it. Drawing 101. I better get my notes or I'm not gonna remember. All right, so last week we worked from photograph. Oh, I might have to dig behind my green screen. We'll see. All right, I was gonna show you something. Maybe Nancy can get it for me. All right, we worked from photograph last week with chalk pastels. That's what's going on in this picture. Remember, this is a class that works from photograph, we work from imagination, and we work from life. We draw in both a realistic style and an illustrative style. The goal of this class is to be new and fun and novel and just encourage drawing so that everybody from, this K to 2nd grade can be successful and feel confident and grow their skills. Because you know how you grow skills in drawing? It's not by me telling you you're doing it wrong. You grow skills in drawing at this age, especially by me putting out like all the things, and we draw 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 and we celebrate what we draw, and we discover things when we draw, and we get better at fine motor skills, and we try new materials, and we find our voice in drawing. That's how we get better at drawing at this age. And so it's really just about exploring and discovering and having a great time. So this one here was from Photograph. We did winter landscape. So I'm going to show you some of the ones in our picture. I need to turn, this light is too bright. Hang on. I got new lights, super excited about them, but I'm learning. Turn that one down just a little. There you go. Look at how beautiful all those colors are in chalk pastels. I got one more. This one has a lot of green in it. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh yeah, no, hang on. Let me turn off the green screen because I don't want you to miss it. Video settings, background. I have a green screen. No. No. There it is. I got to keep it in front of me, otherwise it disappears. But look at how beautiful and soft and kind of ethereal these colors are. I think chalk pastel is so fun for winter landscapes. Now, one of the things that we discovered in looking at our pictures, because part of being an artist is not just, my green screen back on, is not just being able to put pencil to paper or chalk pastel to paper. It's also our observation skills, right? So we looked at these photographs that I printed off of Canva of wintry landscapes. Most of them took place in sunset or sunrise, which really amplifies the colors that are reflected into the snow. So using our powers of observation, we then noticed that snow is not always white. Crazy. So that was fun. So this week in the 101 class, we're going to be playing with glass pens. That's what I wanted to show you. But I don't have one here. Let's look behind the curtain. Maybe I have one behind the curtain. I mean, sometimes they live here, but pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They're not there. I moved them because we're using them in class this week. I'll show you next week, okay? But they're a glass pen. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a glass, like, stick. It has a twirly bob at the end. And you dip it in ink. And we have a white calligraphy ink that we're going to be using. I have other colors too, but we're drawing snowflakes, so I've got white. I also have some kind of pearlescent colors that we'll use. And we're going to use glass pens to draw snowflakes. So this is our illustrative drawing style. We'll look at some ways that other artists illustrate snowflakes, right? Is it just dots? Is it circles? Is it bubbles? Think of Starry Night. And when Vincent van Gogh made the stars in his Starry Night, they're not what we think of as a star, right? They're these big, spiraling, swirly things. Like, that's an artist's choice to illustrate your stars in that way. And we all still know they're stars. Like, how cool is that? So we're going to play with that brain teaser on how we want to illustrate snowflakes, and we'll explore that. In addition to the glass pens, we've got gel pens, we've got paint pens, so other drawing materials that we can use. Sound good? All right, drawing 102. I got to get my notes, you guys, because I didn't sleep much last night. So I was up really late getting the summer stuff on the website. Here we go, which, I mean, thank you to my people who already sent me messages that they were like, I think there's a typo here. I'm like, there probably is. So anytime you see something that we're like, why is Liberty doing 2 camps on the same week? I promise it's probably a cutting and pasting error. And I was really tired, so feel free to send me a message. I will fix it. Okay, anyways, back to drawing 102. Advanced realistic in our classes, we're working on the figure, right? And so we've drawn from photograph, we did the dancers, we drew from life, and we did like our classmates, and now we're drawing from our imagination. So we did use a mannequin model, just there's one sitting over there, I didn't bring it over, but you know, like those things that the mannequin's arms and legs move, right? And we set them up in different poses, and then we encourage the kids to use their imaginations to add details to these figures. And so these are some of the things that we had from Drawing 102 Advanced Realistic. This one's a little smaller. See if I can get it up next to the screen. I love the things they come up with in terms of clothing and stuff. So that was our, and this one has really good proportions. So this is like their lesson. Now in week 4, which is coming up this week, we're still going to do figure. This is what we call our wild card week. And this is where the artist will choose what they want to work on. Now it's only January. So I guess anyone that's been with us in previous semesters could go back and be like, I feel like working on my reductive charcoal bat drawing from October. I mean, I wouldn't stop them. It's in the book. Hey, because remember, because our drawing people do all their work in their sketchbook. So they could go back and work on that, but most of them are going to work on something from this month. Whether they really loved their dancer drawing and they want to work on it some more and add values or color to it, and they can do that. Or maybe they want to tackle it again. Maybe they were like, that was week 1. So maybe now that we've had 2 more figure lessons under our belt, I'd like to go back and do some more dancers. But I'm going to start the lesson over. I'm not going to work on a drawing that's already in my book. So it's really up to them. Maybe they feel like, I've always wanted to be able to draw a person running, but I struggle with that. They can get help from us, right? We can take a mannequin. We can look up pictures of people running. We can make some drawings. So it's their choice. It's called wild card. Gives them a chance to finish a drawing in their book, retackle a lesson, or get help on something that interests them kind of within the theme. So that's what's happening in week 4 of Drawing 102. Drawing 102 illustrative, and I did not grab anything of theirs, which I totally went through all their journals, but I must have left them on the table. I need to drink some more coffee this morning, you guys. Drawing 102 illustrative has been working on scenes and settings. And so we started with the map view. We drilled down to kind of like we're flying into a city or a landscape. And then we got down to street level, room level, ground floor level, and put our character in. So that was what we did in week 3. Now, a lot of people got that pencil sketched, but they didn't get it inked or finished or anything like that. This was the level that everybody enjoyed the most. My green screen's not doing what I want it to do, but that's okay. This is the level everyone enjoyed the most. This is probably where most of our people would have liked to start, but it's nice to start up high when you're creating a place for your characters to exist in. So this week, which is wild card week, is when we will finish those drawings or go back to the map. Some people really loved the map. Not a lot of people loved the week 2, like I'm getting closer, but I'm not in it kind of view. Which it's like, think landscape. That's what I think of for that lesson, was like, give me the landscape. Not a map view like of the whole world, but a landscape. And maybe that's the realistic drawer in me or the photographer in me that I'm like, I would really like that. Please take a picture of Basgayeth for me and show me the landscape that it exists in. That's where my brain is. But anyway, so our kids will pick a drawing that they are most interested in, or a drawing that they want to tackle again, like they want to redo. And so they can finish one, they can start over, or they can do something new that still kind of fits in the genre of the landscape. We did have some that I think this is a good example where they're actually inside a room, which kind of draws back to our perspective lessons that we've done in the past. So now we're looking at 1 point, 2 point perspective rules that we want to follow. Drawing 103s. Ready? So my 103 illustratives are working hard. They're doing so good. This was word art, right? So we're adding text to ours and we're illustrating that text with the character. Good stuff happening here. A lot of them did a 3-panel design vertically. I don't know if anybody did anything different, but in the past we've had some that chop them up differently. You can see a lot of our kiddos have inking done and are in the process of coloring. 103 works for a finished composition, whereas 102 is just doing lessons. Guys, this is for 3 hours. No, they're an hour and a half long class. So what's that? 94.5 hours worth of work right here. And they've got 90 more minutes to get these finished and get them matted this week. And then they can go home. In our 103 realistic class, we are working on a still life. Got some really good stuff going on here. Remember, we're working with alcohol markers, so this is a different kind of drawing medium for us. They do have a photographic reference that they're working from. This has a lot of green in it, so bear with me. But I love, look at all the great blending we have. You guys, this is marker. So these, that is talent right there. These glasses, to draw them in marker. Not in pencil, not in charcoal, in marker. That's really good. Hang on, I got some other ones. I can show you the progress that these guys are doing. I can like smell the alcohol inks. They have such a unique smell. There's another good one. Hang on. First, I want to show you the reference image if I can find it. Reference image. Drawing. Cool, cool. All right, so these guys here, their goal is to finish. Some are further along than others. Actually, I picked the ones that were the furthest. We've got some that haven't even started coloring and they just have a pencil sketch. So that's going to be tricky in 90 minutes to get that entire thing done in color before the end of class tomorrow night in Liberty. I don't know where Plattwoods is, but so if you are in that class and you need more time, again, that studio time is always available for you. Okay. All right. Couple housekeeping things. Here we go. As a reminder, no preschool classes Thursday and Friday. Tuesday, people will still see you. No creative explorations at all Wednesday or Friday. We'll see you next week. And then summer programming did hit the website today. If you were on the email list, you got an email that just basically says, go check it out. This is just to browse, you guys. There is no registration happening. Like you'll see the buttons that say, sign up for this class. And then underneath it says registration opens March 15th. Sign up for this class, right? So it's just there as a placeholder. I mean, you can click it. It'll take you to the Sawyer webpage, and then all of the listings are going to say wait list because they're not open. But registration will open on March 1st if you are a member of the Studio Club. Everybody else gets in March 15th. But if you're a Studio Club member, you get in March 1st. March 1st, Studio Club people, if you're like, I don't even know if I'm Studio Club, you would have paid your semester tuition. So all 5 months of the spring semester, you would have paid that before classes started, which I think I took it down once class started, so it wasn't even an option. But if you're paying monthly, you're not Studio Club, if that makes sense. Okay. So eventually we have to go through and update the website so it says like members only, and it'll be member only registration for 15 days, and then it'll open to everybody. Okay. So go check that out. Good stuff. And then I had some questions about junior staff. So if you are a Orange Easel student who has finished 5th grade, so for my 5th graders now who are like going to finish in May, talking to you, finished 5th grade, you can apply to join the junior staff. That is a summer program where you come in and help with the classes or camps that we have going on. You still get to come to camp or come to class. You still may get to do most of the project. Priority 1 would be helping, but priority 2 is like you can also demo and do your own project. You don't pay for camp, you come as a helper. So if you're interested in that, we only open that up to Orange Easel students because Orange Easel students are generally familiar with the building. They're generally familiar with our teaching principles because they have been on the receiving end of it. They are familiar, especially our multimedia students, are familiar with the different projects that we're going to do. When I say like, go get the brayers, you're like, oh, I know what that is. Or we're going to make a collagraph and you know what that is, right? Because you've had those classes. You already know kind of some of the lingo that we use when we teach. So it's a really great opportunity for kids to come in and get volunteer hours, job experience, if anybody's interested in teaching experience. So this is open to anyone 5th grade and older. And so we'll have the applications on the website. You actually go through applying and interviewing and getting a job offer because we are a teaching studio. And so we use this as a teaching opportunity for your kids to learn what it's like to apply for a job. What is it like to interview for a job? What is it like to receive a job offer, accept a job offer, and go through training? So that's the process. It starts March 15th. There is a deadline. This is early. Normally we don't start till April, but I have a senior who's graduating. So I know my April, May is going to be insane. So I'm going to start a little bit early this year in managing junior staff applications. The deadline is like mid-April, but I think it's typically we go till April 15th. I think it's earlier, like the 11th or something, whatever that Friday is. So you'll want to get an application in, and then we do interviews, and then we get you like a job offer, which of course is not paid, but we still offer it. So you have to accept it, and then we get availability from your kids in terms of like when can they work. The minimum requirement is 1 camp. So if you can work 1 camp, you can do this, and that'll be like a Monday through Thursday all day long. That's the minimum, but you get us your availability, and then we get you on the schedule, and then there's staff training in May that you come to as like a kickoff event, and all the teachers are there, and you get a t-shirt, and we have like cater in Olive Garden and have a good time. So make sure that if you know someone or if your kid's interested, you want to know more about the program, you can definitely ask. There is not a website yet. There was a website, like a web page. And then the website crashed and I haven't rebuilt that page. So that's on the list to get rebuilt as soon as I finish with all the February curriculum writing. So I'll get that up, and so you can look at that and bookmark it and get ready for that. If you are a returning junior staff, so like you've done junior staff before, you don't have to put an application in. You can just fill out the availability, which will be on that webpage as well. That was a lot of talking. That's okay. There'll be more information on junior staff, I promise. Like we'll talk about it more, but because I posted the summer catalog, I know that people were like wondering, you know, especially because we really don't have that teen programming that we've had in the past. That just there wasn't enough demand to make it worth the investment this year. So really for anybody who's in that middle school, high school, junior staff's the way to get into the studio and to be involved this summer. So which is cool because it's free. You just pay us in your blood, sweat, and tears. No. So anyways, so check that out on the whole catalog. And like I said, if you got older kids, junior staff, private events or private lessons, or Creation Nation is going to be your best bet for summer stuff. So okay. Anywho, I gotta go because I have a really long to-do list, and this has been a really long video, but I hope that you have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys soon.